Professor Swaran Singh, what is your assessment? Is it because of the fallout of the erraticness of Trump in public discourse that we are safeguarding ourselves?
I think very clearly, Karthikeya, as we all understand, time and attention and energy of national leaders, particularly when we are talking of 1.5 billion strong nation, is often calculated in terms of minute-to-minute programs of every day. And in each of these sort of crafting of the timetable for national leader like Prime Minister Modi, there are always cost-benefit analysis that go rigorously into the making of what will be the final decision on where he will go and where he will not go. So, there are demands on his time and attention, both in terms of domestic politics as also on foreign policy. And as you mentioned, he's been attending almost all summit meetings of all various organizations where India stands as an important member. So I would not rule out completely that the Trump factor, and if I can be blunt, the double speak, selective morality, selective memory, and double speak that we have faced from President Trump should be and could be a factor definitely in making sure that such a direct face-to-face meeting does not disrupt the very carefully crafted piecemeal kind of trade negotiations where India is trying to make sure that we are able to have some kind of a win-win situation for both sides.
Or is it a message, Professor, that India can ignore Donald Trump and India can in a very discreet way snub you by not being there?
I think the way I understand diplomacy, and Ambassador Sikri will watch me on that, there are no space for emotional and ego responses in terms of snubbing somebody or showing somebody down. It's simply pushing for national interest. And we have seen Prime Minister Modi very clearly not making his ego or any of the past issues come on the way when he wants to push India's national interest. So I think it's primarily, other than that there is a demand of other stakeholders on his time, in this case domestic politics clearly, is a carefully crafted effort not to have a face-to-face meeting which could lead to a certain disruption. We have seen kind of falsehood that President Trump has been...
Because it's a choice. He's choosing not to engage with the man. He's choosing not to engage with the man who has no respect for what is personal and what is public. That's what Trump is. He has no respect for personal and public.
If you allow me 30 seconds, sure. Throughout in history of diplomacy, there are always possibilities of variations in interpretations of both sides when leaders meet. And sometimes, facts could also be twisted, but you can't put in facts that did not exist. For example, he's mentioning on the Diwali greetings time a phone call saying that there was a discussion on Pakistan. India had to clarify there was no discussion on Pakistan. So it's a falsehood which is also very difficult to deal with. So it's a very carefully cautious approach to make sure India will join virtually, as the Prime Minister has said on the tweet. And India is not saying I'm not participating. India is participating, and India and ASEAN have a very strong and thick relationship. In fact, both with Malaysia and the coming next year Indonesia, India has very strong relationship. So I don't think it really will impact on the bilateral relations. It's also to ensure that the pause on India-US relations.
Closing comment from you, Professor Swaran Singh.
I think more than simply putting it in terms of individual leaders' positions on these issues, I think it is a matter of what is at stake as far as India is concerned. India wants to open, arms are open to engage United States. We have sent no signal that India is not trying to engage either President Trump or United States, but on our own terms. And therefore, I think once Prime Minister has made it clear repeatedly that the interests and livelihood of farmers or fishermen of livestock rearers will not be something that will be compromised, and therefore there are pressures of that kind in agriculture, dairy sectors. Those are the issues. It's not a personality, individual leaders issue. It's an issue of what India stands for, and Indian Prime Minister is trying to make sure that he's able to articulate that core interest of India. And the way you mentioned from Prime Minister not going to address UNGA, which was expected, and then of course invitation by Egypt to Sharm el Sheikh, Indian Prime Minister not going now to Kuala Lumpur also, there is a correlation that one can read that India is carefully trying not to disrupt the official level and ministerial level negotiations on the trade. They should not be disrupted, because if two leaders meet, and there is a likelihood of President Trump claiming things that did not exist.
I think the larger message, I really run short of time, is India cannot be pushed around. You know, you can't force